morning, church family. How are you on this Wednesday morning? I pray that your day is getting started well, and as always, spend some time with the Lord. Put those sins under the blood. Let Him love on you a little bit this morning before you head out the door into the work week. I pray you get you a good cup of coffee, get you a good breakfast in your system, meditate upon Him for a little bit, settle yourself down, and head out the door with an expectation of a powerful move of God. Amen. Man, look forward to the day. I actually look forward to being in church tonight with my church family and rejoicing with them, worshiping with them, and hearing a powerful word from the Lord. I'm excited about it. Look forward to it. I'm thankful for this great and wonderful day. Amen. This morning, I have no idea how I'm going to present this to you. I have actually been sitting here studying. Matter of fact, you can see I've been studying this here for a little bit. I've got all of my study Bibles out, trying to put this into words and trying to figure out how I'm going to present this to you this morning. But we're going to give it a shot anyway. It's something that I've read today in my studies earlier, and it's actually kind of remained with me all day, so I just want to bring it to you. So let's go to the book of Job, and we're going to jump into chapter 38. And the reason why I say 38 is because God finally addresses Job directly in chapter 38, and it's actually 2 chapters long that Job is addressed by God. Matter of fact, God responds to Job through a whirlwind, and He speaks to Job through a whirlwind. I mean, can you imagine that? You know, that you've been sitting here talking back and forth with your friends that have basically accused you of sinning before the Lord. You basically, in short, Job was eager to face God in order to question Him. I mean, all through the chapters, Job was eager to face God and question Him. He had all kinds of questions, basically, for God. And so God addresses Job directly through a whirlwind. I mean, can you imagine that you're sitting and you're in counsel with your friends that are accusing you of being sinful, and all of a sudden a whirlwind pops up and there's the voice of God. I mean, for one, that is awesome. I mean, that would be awesome. For two, it would be kind of frightening in a sense, you know. And so I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of that this story today, and I'm like, how do I present this to my church family? How do I bring this story to life and kind of explain them, you know, how I'm feeling with this? So I'm gonna do my best. And so the one thing, when I looked at this story, verse 38, it says, then the Lord answered Job out of a whirlwind and said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Wow. I mean, in my simple understanding, words without knowledge to me basically means you're speaking, but you have no idea what you're talking about. I may be wrong, but that's the first thing that come to mind when I read that. But then God turns around in verse 3 and He says, gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. God's telling him, I'm going to demand that you answer me, basically, in a sense. And I may have that wrong, but hey, it's Old English, so maybe not. But that's kind of where I was. I was kind of trying to break that down in my own mind and trying to figure that out. So we're in Job. We're in Job's point of view, basically, where he's sitting there A whirlwind pops up. God speaks to him out of a whirlwind, and he says, "Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without wisdom? Who are you who speaks that has no knowledge of what they speak about? Gird yourself up like a man, because I will demand from you an answer." That's the way I pulled that. I was like, wow. And so the Lord tells him this. And the Lord responds to Job with 70 questions. Wow, 70 questions. It's literally, I want you to go through it, church family. It's literally 2 full chapters of 70 questions. And I picked a few of them out. The first couple here, he says, where was thou when I laid the foundation of the earth? He's asking Job that. He says, where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. He says, who hath laid the measure thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it? He goes on to say, whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy, ? Where were you? Wow. I mean, wow. I'm sitting here thinking of this, church friend. I'm like, Job is complaining, and of course, honestly, Job had right to complain. He literally just lost everything. And you'd have to go through and read the entire 42 chapters of Job, and it's a good story. And but God is basically, he's speaking with Job. Job wanted to face God face to face and ask questions of God. And God is basically saying, where were you when I've done these things? And he goes on to say, I want to show a couple of more here. He says, knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? Canst thou lift up thy voice to the clouds, that abundance of waters may cover thee? Canst thou send lightning, that they may go and say unto thee, here we are? Who hath put wisdom in the inward parts, and who hath given understanding to the heart? Who can number the clouds in wisdom, or who can stay the bottles of heaven? When the dust groweth into hardness, and the clods cleave fast together, wilt thou hunt the prey for the lion, or feel the appetite of the young lion, when they couch in their dens and abide in the covert to lie and wait? Who provided for the raven his food? When the young ones cry unto God, they wonder for lack of meat. Wow, that is powerful. He even goes on to say in chapter 39, in verse 13, gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacock, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them? She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear, because God hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. Wow. He's talking to Job, and he's like, you're speaking things you have no knowledge of. And he's saying, where were you when all of these things happened? So I guess the word that I'm looking for this morning, and as this is all racing in my mind, and maybe you guys can help me out this morning, but we all face things, maybe not on the scale as Job, but we all go through things, and we sometimes get frustrated, and sometimes we get beside ourselves, and we get angry, and we wish some things would never happen, and we wish maybe people would treat us better, maybe people would respect us more, maybe doors would open for us, maybe situations weren't the way they are. And we begin to either question God or we begin to blame God. But God is saying to Job, I know all of these things. I've done all of these things. You wasn't here when I created the heavens and the earth. You wasn't here when I gave wings to the ostrich and I withheld wisdom and understanding from her, that she treats her unborn children or even children as that she has no fear, she has no concern of them. He goes on to talk about horses, and he goes on to talk about eagles, and he talks about the lightning and the winds and the rains, and he talks about all these things that he has power to do. And then he turns around and blesses Job. Wow. Isn't that amazing? So I guess what I'm trying to say this morning, church family, is regardless of our circumstance, remember the God we serve. Remember the God we serve. Our God is alive and well. He's not dead. He's not hiding somewhere. He's not asleep. He answers by fire, and he answers his children because he loves us and he cares for us. He created all that we see that we may have an opportunity to live this life more abundantly. I do believe that. Church family, I'm sorry for keeping you late this morning, and I'm running late this morning. I'm actually, you'll get this probably here in about 20 minutes. So, and it's currently like 5 something, I think it is. And, but anyway, I'm fixing to call it a night. I pray your day is blessed. I pray that the angels of the Lord go with you as always to help you accomplish the will of the Lord today. I pray that you look at your circumstance and know that there is a God that is bigger than your problem, that you don't question him, but you place it in his hands and say, I can't do it, but I know you can. I love you, church family. And I'll see each and every one of you tomorrow on Around the Table. God bless you, my friends.